show, brother. Thank you for swinging by. I know we've been trying to get this interview done for a while already.
Yeah.
I know right now, before we started this, you were talking about this brain yoga.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because I'm super intrigued.
Oh yeah, I was just mentioning is that like before anything that you prepare for something important, like a test, a presentation, a speech, even in class, like you're just going to attending class. Anytime you go about to engage your mind or even like a performance of some kind, you can prep beforehand by stimulating both your left and right hemisphere by using your physiology, your body, right? So once you get like let's say one side of the body of the physiology crosses the other, so left to right, something like that, left to right.
Yeah.
Then you activate again both left and right hemispheres. So you activate both left and right sides of the brain. And one way to do that is again real simple. Is what I was saying was brain yoga. And I was gonna say, I dipped up behind there so I could do it, but I should have shared it with you. I was like, why not share it with you?
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's actually two quick ones that I can show you. Is brain yoga. So you just do stand up, and of course squats. So you just hip width, legs, hip width apart. Just massage one side of the ear, left. Hand to right hand to left. Okay? That's it, just massage the bottom of your earlobes and then just do squats. Breathe down, up.
And it's on the breathing too, right?
Right. That's very important. That's a whole topic in of itself.
Yeah.
So I do about 15 of those, and then cross crawls. So then you could just lift your. I do my my shoulder. My elbow to knee.
Okay.
So like that.
Oh yeah.
Or you can use your hand. You can use your hand as well. So you just do that. I do about 40, 50 of these.
Well, you're you're in shape, bro.
Yeah.
If anybody's, trying to learn how to stay in shape, it's definitely the, model for it.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So you have a shirt, El Paso, brother. I've actually just got familiar with the brand. I hadn't really seen it, but I guess you see it a lot on the shows, and especially in these hip hop shows. And I know that's the main topic that we're here for, brother. So I know you were filming a documentary, and it's basically on hip hop. What kind of drove you to actually do a documentary like that?
Okay, so the story is good question. Thank you for that. Because my good friend of mine, Eddie Jesus, GZUS.
Okay.
I grew up with him, we grew up together in, Lower Valley of El Paso, right? We went to the Valle together. And, one day I called him out of the blue, right? So this guy, he's been studying with the Temple of Hip Hop for a couple years at this point. This is 2022, okay? So this is 2022. He just comes home from the Bronx. He's on camera with KRS-One, the teacher, right? He's on camera in the Bronx, like they're in the middle of some basketball court, and KRS-One is like, yo, I'm right here with my man Eddie Jesus. He just completed this hip-hop culture specialist certification. He's been out here 1 week studying with Grandmaster Caz, KRS-One, etc. And it's like Jesus right there, and of course he gives the mic back to me, Jesus, and Jesus said, yo, we're out here, wherever. So then, fast forward a couple months after, or like a month or so, I call him out of the blue, my boy, I ain't spoken to him in a minute, I'm just like, yo, what up, on a Sunday morning, I remember this. And I call him up just out of the blue, like, yo, what up, Jesus? And he's like, yo, Gabriel, it's you. Yo, man, they're asking me at the temple, KRS-One is asking us at the temple to give them something to show them what we got for hip hop in El Paso. And we're talking the 9 elements, okay? So we're not just talking rap, okay? We're not talking
so anybody listening who's not familiar with hip hop, bro, what are the 9 elements? What are the elements?
Well, we can go there. So when he says that, now mind you, I'm new at this, so this is like, I just call him out the blue. He's certified, coming from the temple, so he knows all this. So then he tells me it's, again, 4 core, everybody knows this, right? 4 core, MCing, graffiti art, DJing, breaking, right? Then we extend it to street knowledge, street language, street fashion, street entrepreneurialism, and beatboxing, right?
Oh, shit.
So that's 9 elements, right? And so we cover all the 9 elements in the southwest of the city. So the idea was, of course, I'm thinking El Paso off the rip. And then I'm thinking, just real quick, was like, oh, well, let's do a mini doc. Let's give him like 20 minutes, mini doc, we'll do that. Bet. So then you hang up, he reaches out to his contacts, I reach out to my contacts. And we grew up, our homeboys, shout out Metatron, Lower Valley Cats, you know what I'm saying, Josiah. Metatron, freaking, they're our homeboys, so they're like, the ill MCs, like probably like, literally, I'm not joking, guys, by the way, highly underrated, we haven't even covered them in the film, but these are homeboys. And again, like some of the illest lyricists, like of all time, it doesn't matter where you come from, like, you know what I'm saying, the best come out of, if you're just best, you're just the best. Anyhow, so he reaches out to, you know what I'm saying, this side, I know my people, he got his people. Anyways, we set the interviews on Zoom, a lot of people out of town, right? You know what I'm saying, not everybody. I'm calling like the right connects. We're coming at the right connects, so I call Bless One, shout out to Bless One, shout out Systematic, Aaron, both of you that call, I reached out to those two in specific, tapped me into another, just a deluge of contacts. So that's why I was able to get Blue Hef and Mark X and just to name a few, you know what I'm saying, Art Sun, shout out all you, you know what I'm saying, shout out, and so a lot of them, interviews were done on Zoom, some we just hit people up, you know what I'm saying, I hit up the system, I hit up Bless One, he came through town at one point. So you know what I'm saying? We just started getting involved.
Yeah, they're trying to get people to be in contact.
Well, yeah, see, well, the list goes on. Then, of course, they put me onto the Breakers, so I got hip to, to be honest, I forget names off that, but you know what I'm saying? Neptizzy, shout out to him. Shout out to a lot of other cats who were also busy breaking. Saba was, you know what I'm saying, thrown out there. Rob, you know what I'm saying? I knew Rob Nice. I've been following his work. I hollered at him, things like that. Shout out Rob Nice. Shout out Saba, you know what I'm saying, all that, and even through these contacts, I was, you know what I'm saying, the contact list is built, and of course, I'm just reaching out to key people at the time to figure out who to interview. So we're just really just covering grounds. Oh, and by the way, the reason they were doing this, the reason they hit Eddie Jesus up for this is because he's out there in the temple and he studied with them, and he was with them. He made an impression, so they asked him, like, well, what's up, you're El Paso? He's the only one from El Paso out there, right? Okay. And so, like, they're like, yo, show us what El Paso got, son. Like, yo. Yeah. And so, and it was for the 49th anniversary. This is 2022. This is actually, I want to say July 29th is when the date was, if I'm correct. I might be wrong, but it was either at the end of July, beginning of August. And the birth date of hip hop is August 11th. And I believe it was less than 14 days that we had. I think it was like 10 days that we had. So 10 days from the 11th, 2022. So obviously we're not going to have, you know what I'm saying, any kind of, I don't know what I'm doing, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to have anything for them. You know what I'm saying? I have interviews.
They weren't ready.
I have interviews. Like, I'm saying, like, I'm gathering just ideas and footage and, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I don't know, like, really, like, what's going on. Like, okay, it's just, interviews. You guys are telling me about the scene. I'm hitting dudes like the Giants. Shout out Giants, you know what I'm saying? Like the DA, freaking, oh, dude, I guess you draw blanks, man, when you do interviews and shit. You know what I'm saying? Cardoza, Michael Cardoza, you know what I'm saying? I'm just forgetting his stage name. Shout out, you know what I'm saying, Michael Cardoza, all that, you know what I'm saying? And he was one of the first interviews, as a matter of fact, Michael Cardoza. Again, the Giants, you know what I'm saying, they were pivotal in, like, you know what I'm saying, in the scene out here in El Paso, aquí in El Paso, the hip hop scene. So, you know what I'm saying, putting on shows, bringing in artists and performing for them, you know what I'm saying, putting CDs together, putting CDs out, you know what I'm saying, putting flyers out, things like that, you know what I'm saying, there was a full-on show. So Giants are DA, MC, Michael Cardoza, MC, dang, I'm forgetting his name, it's crazy. And Bless One on the ones and twos on the DJ on the deck and doing the beats. So it was a 3-piece, and they were like, you know what I'm saying, they were basically dominating the scene. And even as I think about this, I'm again shout out Metatron. I think, and then what Metatron was doing, the reason Metatron wasn't really active on the scene on that is because what they were doing, and that's actually around the time that they were probably more active, is when they were doing the rock scene. So now, mind you, when the hip hop scene was actually here flourishing around early 2000s, well, this is what I'm finding out from Cardoza in the interview and like Bless and stuff, is that when El Paso scene was blowing up, it was around that time, so 2000s, right?
Yeah, because look, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but just as because 2001 2004, bro, I'm like middle school, high school, right?
Okay.
And the first El Paso group that I heard was Southwest Avenue. I don't know if you remember them, if you ever heard of them.
No.
But that was the first one that I heard, and it kind of is inspiring because it was like, shit, this people from here are doing it, so I kind of want to do it. So you saying all these names that I've never even heard of, bro.
Oh, right on.
And I want to actually jump on and hear them. You know, like I want to see what these guys are about. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah, well, that's cool. And that's the idea. Excuse me. That was initially the concept. Was just that is putting El Paso on, like, yo, showing what we got.
Yeah.
And so when I'm doing these quick interviews, these sloppy interviews, I'm even hitting up. I've got hip to I think one of the first like sit down interviews, which was super dope. It was either Hash Loke, shout out Hash Loke, Byron Sosa, shout out. It was who else? Next Level Records. So shout out Next Level Records. So that's Lack Nicholson. That's freaking Chronic. That's Walks. That's shout out Walks. Shout out Chronic. That's freaking. You know what I'm saying? These dudes. And there's a collective out of Mexico, but they're based out of El Paso right now. In the List of Devil, you know what I'm saying? We went out to the studio, did the interview. It was dope. It was fun. We got and by the way, we're doing all the interviews. Just I don't know anyone who's listening. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna read for all those out. That's the end result because it's again they were sloppily done. So it became quickly apparent that there's no way we can fit this in 20 minutes. This is too big. Like, yo, man, there's some talent come out of here. I'm finding out about DJ Flipside. Shout out Flipside. I'm finding out about and again what Flipside is. Again, he's a DJ out of El Paso, from El Paso, and then he ended up just being so good that he's now, even now to this day, like still like an official Hellraiser DJ, which is an offshoot of Wu-Tang. So he's like an official Wu-Tang. And Hellraiser, by the way, is not a small name. Like, it's a badass. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you if you know like Wu-Tang, if you follow that stuff, like you know what I'm saying, the offshoots, like Sons of Man, things like that. He's Sons of Man, so that's dope. He's Sons of Man DJ, and he's like the DJ for Sons of Man or for Hellraiser, Heaven Raiser now. Excuse me. And he does a lot of releases. We just listening to a track he did with Inspector Deck and so forth.
Dude,
so that's Flipside. That's Flipside, right? And that's Bless One. Bless One does the same thing. So Bless One, he also does. You know, he's done videos. He's on video with like Premier, DJ Premier. He's on a tour. And what I call Bless One, by the way, I call Bless One the Questlove of El Paso, because behind any group coming through, if he's in town, like, because he's a traveling musician, so if he's in town, living in town or staying in town for whatever weeks, he's playing that show of whoever's performing. I don't care who it is. And so we can talk about what the last performance was here, like I guess Reverie. He was on Reverie's show. Anyways, I could go on that. I'm not about to do all that. But anyway, so just look it up. You know what I'm saying? The resume is there. Like all summer long, he's been doing it. And so they're giving me the story. I'm finding out about the breakers. I'm finding out Jabberwockies. Again, if you don't know, this is another thing that we're exposing, is that Jabberwockies is a breaking crew, or a dance crew, I should say, that got popular. I'm not sure if it was via Vegas. I haven't even done the story on that. So there's a whole lot of work.
I think it was MTV. I think they came out in that show. It was on TV. That's where I first saw them, and then you started seeing them pop up everywhere. And then you see Shaq dancing with them, and you know. So I think it started with the MTV show. I'm not too sure, but growing up in that era, I remember first seeing them on that show.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that's more, I guess, your era. I would think it's a younger generation. Because some of these dudes are younger than myself, but anyhow, so I'm finding out about the Jabberwockies. So anyways, for those who don't know, Jabberwockies are a dancing crew, and I know they made it famous, but I don't know, say again if they got their start, but they know they made it famous on one of those dance shows. Like, see, again, there's a lot of work to do. But if you don't know, I've got a lot of work. A lot of people think, it's coming out. No, it's not. There's a lot of work to do. So again, this is just one example of more digging I need to do. It's just one story that just keeps, you know what I'm saying, you find these nuggets, and you just keep digging around, and you find out there's a gold mine behind it. Yeah. So I keep finding these gold mines, and there's a big story behind it. So those guys, anyhow, point being is that they made it famous, and they're a worldwide now what is it called? A franchise? Yeah, a franchise. Yeah, they're a franchise, yeah. And so these guys, and I think it was like 5 members started it, and I want to say 3 of them were out of El Paso. So like the founding members of the Jabberwockies, were So like that. So you know what I'm saying? And there's stories like that again, Flipside, Best One, Jabberwockies, and these are just small as I touch it. I could keep going. Crystal Poppin, shout out Crystal Poppin, who've been doing a lot, who've been making moves. You know what I'm saying? We got
Mhm.
out to we reached her, so she even did an interview. So you know what I'm saying? We reached a
Yeah.
lot of people at this point. Um,
Yeah, she gets down.
yeah,
I've heard, I follow her, and
yeah,
I've seen her on social media. She's pretty good.
yeah. She become a
There's
favorite.
there's a producer, man, and maybe you actually named them right now when you were name calling pretty much everybody that you put on this documentary. Um, he was a Tupac producer, and he was from Juarez. I don't know his name, bro, and I just found this out a few months ago. From Juarez, El Paso. And right now, after the interview, I'll check out. It's badass, bro. He's dead, I think, but he's dead already. But
Unsurprisingly, so
I want to even say the the Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know if you're a big Tupac guy, but the Bonnie and Clyde song.
not big enough, but yeah.
He's the one who made the guitar riff for that
Okay.
song.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, I don't know his name, bro. I'll see. I'll look it up right now.
I'll let me write it down. I got this on camera. Anyways. Yeah, that's wild, dude. Yeah, I need to find that out. Yeah. And so again, I've come across even through here. So fast forward a little bit. Like mind you, I don't know what I'm doing, okay? And we missed we missed the birth dates, right? Like I didn't have anything substantial to give to them, like to the temple, right? Because they're the ones who asked for it. And basically, we're still doing it for them. Like we're gonna give it to them, and they're gonna get it. Like it's gonna be in their hands. And I really want to honor the project. I really want to honor like what we're doing here, as far as like putting something together for them to see and be like, yo, respect. You know, what I'm saying, yo, love out there. Because again, like I'm surprised myself when I start digging in. I myself was blown away by what I'm discovering. All like a phenomenal artists out here, man. Like just like some of these MCs, these DJs, these breakers, street business. So you started off asking about El Paso.
El Paso, yeah.
That's street entrepreneurialism in its fullest. So it's a brand. It's a hip hop brand out of El Paso. And I got their story. You know what I'm saying? I got another dude, Sweet Jesus Radio. Shout out El Paso. Shout out Sweet Jesus Radio. You know what I'm saying? These dudes, and they, you know what I'm saying, it's a team, they put that together, and Sweet Jesus Radio is a podcast as well. I don't know if you know of that one.
Now I do.
Yeah, and so yeah, he's done the work as well. He started documenting the same thing in a sense, but in podcast form, doing the same thing.
Oh, that's dope.
So he started interviewing dudes, and he's been doing it for like 10 years. So it's been like 10 years of of interviews. And from there, I was able to
here in El Paso.
yeah, here, all local stuff. Yeah, all El Paso, all El Paso. Yeah, and yeah, we'll start using that word too, local. Shout out, Pooh, that's a good one. Stop using the word local. We're just El Paso. Okay, so same thing, saying with Juarez. Saying. So excuse me, I'm jumping ahead. So, yeah, we get where was I?
The tempo, we couldn't really send them anything.
Oh yeah, so anyway, so we're just keeping it going. We're just keeping it going. I'm like, yo, full length all the way. So 6-7 months along the line, and I'm drawing blanks. I'm like, like I don't know what to do right at some point, whatever. Like I'm kind of like, I take a break, like what I'm saying. There's been a lot of even stops. You got to do that, I guess. One thing I figured out as an artist is like, oh yeah, if there's no juice in you, if like you're done, like that means you're spent. It's time to refuel, so you chill out. Like you give yourself that time to actually honor that time. Oh well, there's nothing coming to me. Like I don't got the energy to pursue this, so I got to give myself a break, step back a little bit, just kind of just relax a little bit more and just again take that time. It's recreation. You know what I'm saying? Recreate yourself. So you do that. You spend more time meditating, spend more time walking, and what I'm saying, things in silence and solitude, things like that. Refueling the well. But anyhow, but again, at this point, I'm kind of like really stuck, and I know Valentin through mutual friends. And I reached out, and I guess somewhere, it came to mind, like, oh, yeah, well, let me reach out to this dude. That's right. He does camera work. I remember being here one time at the Power at the Pass. Shout out Valentin, shout out Power at the Pass, where we're at. I reached out to him, like, I guess on Instagram, I believe. And I was like, yo, I got this idea, man. Like, you want to talk about helping me with this film? Because like, I've seen him, like, he had that cool drone work. He's got really cool footage I've seen before, And even like on his page on YouTube or what have you. There's like really cool footage, like saying that they've compiled here, or he's compiled a lot. As the main creative director here, again, Valentin Sandoval, and he reached out. I was like, yo, you've done movies, so I hit him up. He liked the idea. We started working together. It turned out to be a great, a perfect match actually, because in a lot of he's a writer. He's got 2 books out. He's got a poetry book, a book of poetry. He's got a biography on Don Shapiro, who owns this building, and again, who's a big icon that built a large industry out of the city in this building that we're at. As a matter of fact, it was a large factory, a gene manufacturing company in the 70s.
Wow. Okay.
And so yeah, again, homeboy, like he supplied, like he was supplying like Calvin Klein and like these big, again, like Levi's with their jeans. Like they were doing that shit here. Like what was happening?
Shit.
Yeah, they were
so
doing
this
that here.
history, right? We're in history, right?
Yeah,
now.
real talk. Yeah, real talk.
Hell yeah.
And so there's that book, and then and so oh yeah, again, it turned out to be a great networking asset as well. Because from this, that's where I was able to meet again, like a lot of just different artists, as a matter of fact, in the scene of just all backgrounds. So filmmakers, podcast hosts, DJ. Again, there's a family out here, Florida. They go by Off Kind Studios. Shout out Off Kind Studios. Things like that. Like there's a, like, you know what I'm saying. I know that at one point there was like a tattoo shop, tattoo artist out here. Well, I know they do tattoo shops, tattoos in there. And I met Tres Sabores. Shout out Tres Sabores, who's also from Juarez, and he's an MC. And again, shout out to Medina, Freeman Medina. Shout out Freeman Medina. I met him via Tres Sabores because he's the link from Juarez. He's an MC, phenomenal MC, just ill with him, just unknown skills, man. Like just again, unknown skills. You hear, you're like, yo, like what's going on? Like you're just confused, yo, like yo, because his flow is a little something. It's something extra, man. It's bad, homeboy, is bad. And so I met him here. I met a lot of people like that here. You know what I'm saying? Rival Favorite, shout out Rival Favorite. I met him just recently. Like he's also another MC that had a full lineup of a band in the vein of Metatron. So Metatron, again, the 3MC crew with a full band behind them. They had, you know what I'm saying, sax. They had a piano. Well, not sax, really. I was, you know, just
that's something you don't see like a lot. Like an MC with an actual band, bro. And I mean, I've been a hip hop head forever, bro. And I mean, I know a lot of local stuff because and I guess it goes to, we all talk the talk. Like we all want to be out there and like, yeah, you know, support everything that's going on in El Paso, but then you get too busy on your own shit. So like talking to you, bro, you're telling me all this. I'm like, dude, this guy's actually fucking doing it, which is badass, bro. Like, dude, my hat's off to that. And I really fucking mean that because it's like, dude, this guy's in the fucking culture right now.
That's cool.
And I'm glad that I'm actually talking to you right now because eventually I grew up here, bro. Like I grew up here and I always was like, dude, we're bad motherfuckers here and nobody talks about it. It's quiet, it's hidden.
Yes.
And, you know, just because we're here in the border, bro. And I think El Paso is being a little bit more mainstream and it's being shown a lot more. I don't know if you've noticed it. A lot of it on negative publicity, but then we don't want that. So hearing all this good news does really make me happy, bro. Now, because you're on all this, bro, were you brought up here in El Paso?
Yes.
Just born and raised, or you grew up anywhere else?
Raised, not born. I was born in Oceanside, California. We were there, my mom's and my dad's. My dad was military, so he was stationed out there. But we moved back when we were 3 years old, so I don't really recall it. Obviously, you know, I don't recall much of it. I do have the memory. That's funny. But anyways, yeah, 3. So El Paso, it's all El Paso all day. And growing up, my mother and my twin, I have a twin brother. Shout out Kanja. I know you're gonna be out there listening. Shout out Kanja. I got a twin, and we have 2 younger brothers. And so we grew up together, us, my moms, and us 4. And so we moved around all around El Paso. So like my childhood is Sherman Projects, as a matter of fact. We grew up in Sherman Projects.
Okay. What side of El Paso is that?
That's Central, so South Central. Okay. So right across from Fox Plaza or Jefferson High School.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or like very close to the Civic Center. Yeah,
okay.
Very close. Not excuse me, as the Civic Center. Is it?
Coliseum,
yeah. Kind of close to that. Like,
I was like, I know the name, but I was like, where the fuck is it?
Okay. Yeah. So they are right there. So that was our childhood. That's our elementary. So from there we moved to where was it? Oh shit! See, that's crazy. I'm drawing a blank. There was Lower Valley. Yeah, Lower Valley. So from there, Lower Valley, we hit Lower Valley, and then from there, that was middle school up. So we're in the Lower Valley. We're shout out Lower Valley crew. Everyone out there, I know if they listen or whatever, you know, say shout out Lower Valley. So that's the crew. That's where we came to be. So that's where hip hop kind of hit that's where hip hop really hit home. When it comes to hip hop, personally, I fell in love with it even before that. But when it really came to being, it was like meeting these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like the cats that I'm calling out, like right now, Metatron, like Dexstar. He was one of the childhood homies. Swiss, childhood homie.
So you saw these guys grow up in hip hop. Well, all of you guys grew up in hip hop. These guys were actually like putting in rhymes, putting in work, trying to make it.
Well,
Or
no, not even. No, to be honest, no. We not honestly, not like that. We were just more fans of it. We were really skateboard culture. So
oh,
like,
okay,
come sixth, seventh, eighth grade, like coming into high school, yeah, it was more skateboard culture.
skateboarding.
So even rock and roll was actually alternative, like Nirvana and things were coming
Oh
out around that
yeah,
time. So that
yeah.
was really big. Like even like Dexter was into that hardcore. I really didn't get into it at the time. I was kind of like rebelling against it. I was more hip hop. Like, no, it's hip hop. No, it's rap, man.
Yeah,
It's rap, dude.
yeah. I was like that.
Yeah, you were like that. You were like that.
Yeah, but two of my friends were like same, like rock, corn, and all that shit. And I was like, dude, stop listening to that. Listen to this, you
Yeah,
know. And then now I fucking love that rock too, dude.
right,
So
right.
it's crazy how it affects. It's for me. I don't know. I think I've always liked hip hop, but what really hit it was I think when I was in fifth grade, bro, and I think it had to have been Eminem when he's wearing that white shirt. And I know it's super mainstream, you know,
Huh.
like I had to get like because here in El Paso, you don't see people on the corner rapping, you know, like
Right.
it's
That's
so
true.
different, bro. So it was
That's
like
true.
it was you're introduced to it through the radio, you know, and then the internet comes out, and then the internet is like, oh shit, there's fucking rappers in Missouri, you know, you got St. Lunatics, all that, Atlanta, and then you start seeing all these other places, bro, and that's why I was like, oh shit. Now you know the whole East West Coast thing, you know, and everybody's like, oh, West Coast, and here in Paso, I think is super West Coast. You know, we see ourselves as a West Coast
Yes.
side of the spectrum
I've
in
always said
that,
that. Yeah, I've always
yeah.
said that. Yeah.
But me personally, I like New York rappers a lot, but I just like the like Nas is my favorite, you know, all time. So I like that style a lot more. But yeah, it took investigating to find out all these other rappers because here it's just radio stuff, you know.
Right. And that's what's interesting is that what one thing that I'm finding interesting too, by the way, which is like I find these interesting threads when I speak to more people about it. The more I speak about it when I'm out there on the streets, you know, what I'm saying, at the shows or what have you, and I'm speaking to people who I didn't know were in the scene. So I'm meeting more and more people. Like what I'm just giving you is not even a drop in the bucket. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's like so many people. And yeah, you keep finding these threads, and it's like, what? That's right. Like this one guy I just recently met, and he was like, well, actually, not even just one guy. Excuse me. I just kept hearing what I started catching on. I was like, yo, people keep talking about skateboarding, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, skateboarding seems to be like very fluid out here, like so hip hop and skateboarding. And I was like, that's right. I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. And I was like, yo, I remember that. Like even when we were first doing it, and again, graffiti art. So when we was again hitting when we were in the Lower Valley, we're hitting the graffiti. They were taggers. We were taggers out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't really get into it myself. I guess I don't know. I guess I was too scared, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So my twin though, again, and all the other homies were like big on it. So they were like mad, like
Like
bombers,
getting
like
in there.
yeah, getting
Uh-huh.
hitting the freeways, like shit like that. So it was, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
Yeah, that's way
I mean,
dope.
I never got into it, but I can't say that I didn't want to, bro. Like I just wasn't artistic like that. You know what I mean? Or else I would have. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was too. I guess I didn't feel I had the skills, man. But I did. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is just practice at it, man. That's
True.
another thing you learn as you get older. Like, dang, there's all the skills that you thought you had. You actually still have them, and you just need to just nurture them.
True. That is very true. Because you don't. And honestly, like it reflects to like hip hop itself, bro. Like I always felt like, oh man, but there's a lot of stuff that kind of holds you back. And this is like like rap right now in Mexico is blowing up. Dude. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've looked into it, right? But it's like rap battles. Like now, I watch rap battles on social media in Spanish, and I'm like, dude, this wasn't around when I was a kid. But if it was nowhere to be found. Like there was no way that I had that connection. So something like this documentary, bro, I think does wonders for somebody like that who doesn't have the access.
Mm.
You know, like people in fucking Mexico. For me, hip hop is worldwide. Yes, it started here, but I think you're giving it to more masses. You know what I mean? In a better way.
Right,
In a
right.
sense.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's dope. Look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you yourself, do you work, make music, anything like that?
Well, I do have a full time job. My mother has a home health agency called Santa Fe Home Care out of New Mexico, Cruces, New Mexico. And
Okay.
I do, well, it's been human resources there for the past, I don't know, like give or take 8, 9 months or so. That's a new position. I was doing intake for the last, I don't know, few years before that. and due to changes in the company, yeah, I'm actually jumped back onto intake, and we're also opening up a dispensary in the same building because my mother owns a building. Well, we own the building, and it's called the Healing Circle. Shout out Healing Circle. It's the new dispensary right again. I'm gonna be 100 on 100 Wyatt, Las Cruces, New Mexico, and again straight. We're gonna have like saying quality products, cannabis,
Hell yeah.
all that. It's legal. We're gonna have all that. So we're dipping our hands in that. So then I find myself in the uh, I guess management position because there's a purchasing manager and his name is Nash. Shout out Nash. He does the again. He's been actually building. He built it basically. He did the whole thing. He did all that round up. Did the licensing, the certification, had the cities and the courses needed and the POS systems, and he's doing the whole bit. So he's running. It's his company. He did that. You know what I'm saying? He did that. So and then what I find is that there was somebody else working with us, and it turns out he didn't turn to be a fit. And when we wanted to open soon, so this has actually been a long time coming. And anyhow, I'm jumping ahead. This is like I said, all cool, side bro. Story. Yeah, this is all side story. And so I found like, oh shit, this guy needs help. Like my mother's real busy with her side of the company. My twin, who also works in the company, he's also real busy with his portion because he works in the PHC, the personal home care. Just in case you don't know, it's a home health is where we employ skilled nursing. Well, I should say, it's what's it called?
With that, you take
it's called skilled. It's called skilled.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, but home health is just you take care of elderly, no, or
not necessarily elderly,
or just anybody
people who needs the help because we physical therapy, occupational therapy, we have that, speech therapy, things like that. So you don't necessarily need to be elder. That's primarily can be a bulk of it. But we work in cruises, man. And what's wild is working in cruises is that the health of the people in cruises is shot, son. Like I'm telling you, it's a trip. It's a trip, man, because we're seeing like patients like easily from the 20s up, man. Like we can, we don't admit pediatric because we've even gotten referrals for pediatric. We had an office here in El Paso, so I've worked for that one as well. I lost my train of thought.
We're in the home health.
That's right. Home health. So we hired again. It's skilled. It's called the skilled. I believe that's the term for again like people with degrees, like so again nursing, physical or therapies, and we also have personal home care, which is non-skilled. So yeah, people who after people who don't have a record, people who just don't have a degree though, they can do this. It's like personal home care, like housekeeping, taking care of, feeding patients, things like that.
Gotcha.
So and patients will need both of them at times. So they're skilled. So like let's say the personal home care, the caregiver will be there, helping around the house and helping clean up the patient, what have you, while the nurse is doing the technical stuff. Helping with medications, perhaps it's an IV or things like that. So that's what home health is, and so that's a company that my mother opened up that I'm working for. That I also help, with again with human resources and intake, as well as a dispensary. And again, I find myself now doing more of the it's gonna be marketing as well because I study a lot of different things, again, marketing and business as well. So I was actually well trained for this. I was kind of like ready for all this. So now I'm like executing it.
So
like,
you're ready to put it in action.
Yeah, exactly. Straight up. Gotcha. And so so there's that. That's what I do for a job. That's 9 to 6 or 8 to 5 is what it is. 8 to 5. And again, coming out, meeting Valentin, back to that, I guess going back to that part, meeting Valentin, I hit him up, and again, it turned out to be a great networking asset. Not only that, but turned out to be a great, he's done film, so he does camera work, so he does editing. That's one of his strengths, is editing. He's a strong editor. So I need that for a film, right? You need that in a film. And so we work on a lot of writing projects together. Sticking putting together drafts, things like that, like project descriptions, applications. Right now it's funding season, so it's funding season, so there's a lot of open applications for films in particular. And like, what I'm saying, there's a lot of guidelines that I fall under that I can actually apply for. When I look at these guidelines, like AFG, which is the Awesome Film Society, and ITVS right now is an open application for public broadcasting, things like that. And so there's a lot of applications. There's a lot of opportunities for funds and things like that when you put a project together. So these are things that I discovered after you know what I'm saying, when I was like more grounded and figured out like, okay, well, what do I need to do? Like, how am I supposed to do? Like, what am I doing? What position am I doing? Okay, oh yeah, turns out I'm director, co-producer, producer, a writer. I'm doing interviews as well. I'm doing the yeah, again the what's the funding the funding, and now here he's got some mm, he's able to extract some interns, excuse me, some interns. So now we have a couple of interns who are willing to help on this project as well. So that's kind of cool. So again, like working here is working out of here has turned out to be a wonderful asset for the film. And again, it worked out because we worked together well, writing together. It's like, you know, I write something down, and then like when I started doing these applications, then they ask for these descriptions and these storylines. So basically, what it is, they ask a lot of questions. I mean, they ask the same question in a different way. Like they ask for the same thing in different ways.
Gotcha.
And that's what I'm gathering from all when I look at all these different applications. Like, okay, but it's like it's the same thing. I just gotta put it this way. I gotta put it this way. Put it this way. Shape it together.
Yeah, like a different format or whatever.
It's the same thing, just over and over again, just a different way, which is funny because it helps me again articulate and encapsulate the vision better. It's helped out tremendously, I should say, and that's the stage we're at right now.
That's badass, dude. And you know, it's one of those where it just kind of lines up. You know what I mean? You were getting prepped this whole time, and you didn't even know it. You were just going through the fucking motions,
Yes,
you know.
sir.
And that's what's badass. Now we're about to get this documentary, which is even more dope. So you say you're from California, but you were raised here in El Paso, mainly South Central or in Lower Valley. I've never lived in Lower Valley, dude. I know a lot of people over there, and I would say they're the ones I know can party the best. Shout out to my boy Fernie, the Bobby Hearns. But now, yeah, man, it's cool to hear, and I'm kind of happy for it. Besides any local rappers that you know, the rappers that have came here, I never thought I'd see Rakim here. And KRS One that was here. Did you get to meet them? Did you go to the shows or anything like that?
Okay, so fast forward, yeah, talking about meeting him. Fast forward this year, 2024, the beginning of this year. So Eddie Jesus again now becoming a pivotal figure in my life. We meet up right, I believe it was the 31st. Yeah, it was the 31st of January. It was a Sunday, and New Year's Day was a Monday. We meet New Year's Eve, and we go hiking out here in the Franklin Mountains, out in Tamlia Park. There's these wonderful hiking trails, and so we dive deep, and it's a wonderful talking. We had our time to talk, and talk a lot. Saying we're out there in ourselves. We're not on our phones. We're nature.
We're in nature.
We're focused with it. You know what I'm saying? We're present with each other. You know what I'm saying? We're cleansing. You know what I'm saying? Ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So he told me something which was brilliant, by the way. He says he got this from, I believe, one of his teachers, saying every hike in the mountains is a pray. No, is a excuse me. I'm gonna repeat that. Every hike in the mountains is a baptism.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's how I even treat him these days. Ever since I got that from G, even before that hike. So we went in there again with that intention. So we had a wonderful talk, and she just that day, that conversation we were having was about the temple. We were talking about the temple a lot. He was talking about the teachings and things like that, and a line what we were talking about. I think the day before, he was all like, "Yo, man, like, dude, like, teacher, like today's gospel, because KRS does Sunday gospels." He does the Sunday sermons for the temple every Sunday.
Oh, shit.
At this moment, he's actually taking a break. I believe one of the first breaks he's done it since, like, I don't know when he did it. Started, like, I don't know how long ago, 10 years or so.
Yeah,
he's been doing it for a while. He's been doing the sermons for a long time, and they're taking a break because they're upgrading the temple out in Jersey, Ludlow Street in Jersey. And so they're gonna come back with a full production out in November. So anyhow, right now there's no sermon. So now I got a little bit of Sundays to do more of this work, and it's keeping me occupied. Anyhow, so he tells me he said, dude, touch on the class today, dude. It's like perfect. We've been talking about this. I was like, cool. So I listened to it. He's just on Jesus' word. I was like, I listened to that day's sermon, and in it, listening to him speak. And as you said yourself, like I was like, prepping for this because in a lot of the studies that I do in my own spiritual work, in my own my own research into psychology and business building and things of that nature. Things in metaphysics is that saying I'm like interested in literature, history, things like I shouldn't say history, but anyways, things like that. I've been building on these things, and listening to this sermon, KRS One is speaking to me. He's like, I listen to this dude. He's like, this dude, like, he's like right on line. Like, I need to hear this right now.
Yeah.
And then like the whole time, like boom, like he's just hitting it, like yo, like he's hitting it, like yo, he's like hitting home the
he's
whole
talking
time.
to you and
Yeah,
dude,
yeah. So he's hitting home. He's hitting home. I'm like, yo, I'm afraid up. And then sure enough, he talks about, yo, we're doing a 3-day masterclass out here in the Bronx and out here in Jersey, because like so we're doing a 3-day, names the dates, names the prices, this and that, or actually not the prices, but the links to get there. Boom, I'm there. I booked the flight. I booked the B&B. I'm there. Like, so then it was that month. So this was right, like I'm saying, January. At the end of January, I go myself. So it's a 3-day master class. I get certified. So I'm also a certified hip hop culture specialist, tier 1, which basically just holds me accountable to become a student and to take this seriously and learn the craft myself. And when you asked earlier what I do, so what my artistry might be as far as the craft as a practitioner and as a member of the temple, practitioner of hip hop, I will actually even list what I feel comfortable saying as of now. And the list builds on because I can build on each of them. I plan to master all of them is what I actually plan to do. So I DJ, I collect records. Is one thing that's a hobby I've had for the last 21 years or so. So I collect records, so I DJ, and that's one thing. Okay, boom, there it is. Let me just master that. Let me get a mixer. And my brother, my younger brother, shout out Arthur if you're listening. He got me a turntable, and I got the set. So I just need the mixer. I need the whole set. So I just need to master that, like
That's
the actual
badass,
mixing.
bro.
MCing, I can say that because I'm a wordsmith. I love words. And I write a lot, so I can MC, and that's something that I'm picking up as well. So I can use that as a platform to kind of get over, I guess you can say, stage fright, and use MCing as a tool to gain mastery over the tongue, over speech, over MCing, over a crowd, mastering the crowd, MCing, master of ceremonies, mastering ceremonies. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever that may be. It might not even have to be rapping. I ain't gotta be rapping. I can just master a ceremony. Things like that. Street knowledge, straight up. I mean, I got that. I got street knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I study every day. Street language, I'm studying that too. I'm picking that up more and more. I'm taking that more seriously, learning the street language, studying words, etymology, things like that. So street language, street knowledge, street fashion. Boom. What up? What up? Southwest, shout out Saba. This is the TNR crew. This is Southwest. Boom, look at that. That's again, that's TNR Saba's crew. Again, like he's got a print shop, so he does print work.
So are you affiliated with these guys, or they're just your homies, or you're just supporting the?
Yeah, supporting it, man. I was like, yo, I gotta rock the shirt today. I was like, yo, if I'm gonna be on camera, if anyone's watching this, I gotta rep it right. You know,
dude. Honestly, looking at like sitting right here, I was like, dude, I gotta get a hat with that fucking logo. So yeah, I'm gonna ask you where to buy it. I'm gonna go buy one.
Yeah. Look them up, man. Check them out. They're on. I know these guys got a physical store. I'm not sure if they have like a couple of them. I know they got one on the east side. Look them up, man. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're everywhere. On all the pages. TikTok, I'm sure. Same thing with Saba. SABA. That's SABA. Saba Wear. And again, I know they're on Instagram. I know they might have link trees and things like that. They actually have physical stores. Saba has a store in Cruces. He's got a store in Albuquerque. I want to say Santa Fe. I could be wrong about that, but and I know El Paso had one in Montecillo. They had a shop in Time. I'm not sure that's still open. But anyways, they got a shop, so boom, it's out there.
Yeah,
and they're at all the shows too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I've been seeing it a lot more. Like I hadn't really seen it, and then I started seeing posts about it, and I was like, dude, this is badass. Just the name itself is pretty dope. Right? It's just, it's kind of like, oh shit, I want a hat now. So I'm gonna hit you guys up. El Paso rappers, brother, or MCs. Give me a top 5.
Right now.
Top 5. Yeah.
I love that question. Yeah, that's dope, son. Yo, that's dope. Straight up and down. I love that question. I love it. No one's asked me that. I haven't even thought of that. Woo, that's a good one. I'm gonna say it like this. Okay. From what I know right now, and it's weak, guys. All right. So and apologies to what comes to mind. Straight up, man, I love it. I know. I'm gonna say hands down, Crystal Poppin. I will say that. Shout out Crystal Poppin. One reason is because she's hitting every mark as an MC. She's hitting every mark as an MC. She is not a rapper. I mean, she does even hit the rap. She even hits the rap. So she's a rapper and MC. She hits the fine line of doing both. She is extremely talented. She works on her craft. She takes it very seriously. And that's what I respect out of any MC out of here. Her work ethic is tremendous. She is where she's at, and she's going to get bigger because of her work ethic, how hard she puts it in. She studies the craft, and she executes it vigorously and with passion, and like that's her life. She her that's her thing. She's an MC, and she became it. She's an MC. That's her. So, and again, I love her. I love her. Like, I got a ton of songs. I just like, when I was like going into her work before we did the interview, I was like, just like immerse myself in Crystal Poppins' world, and I was like, yo, man, everything was hitting, like every degree. Like I became a huge fan.
Yeah.
I'm like a #1 fan of her, like straight up and down.
So you would put her 5 or
top
1?
One. I'll put top one and #5 if I had to do that. And I do that too. I play with those lists. Even though I always find these lists arbitrary, because it's like, you can never put it for top one. Like, come on now.
Yeah, no,
come on now. It's impossible to say that. Come on now. That shit don't exist. That ain't real, man. The top.
Well, I will say this. She reps Central, even though she went to Austin, right? Almost Paso High. Yeah. She's still dope. She is.
Yeah. She got a tremendous team. She knows how to work behind the team too. That's also important. People know how to do that. Next one that comes to mind is Tony Mundo. Tony Mundo, shout out Tony Mundo and the team out at what is it? Global Swing Heavy. Shout out Swing Heavy. That's the label, I believe. Systematic boy. He's not an MC, but he's one of my I'll say producers. I'm gonna throw him in there. Just one of the top producers of all time. Not even just El Paso. Shout out System. Real talk though. But Tony Mundo, I'm really excited with his work, man. Like everything he does, and that dude Tony Mundo. What I like about that dude. And I'm excited about him. His sound is really fresh. I actually met him when I was doing an interview at Bless 1 when he was in town. He was just swinging through one time. Like this is early on in the process, right? Bless 1 comes in the scene. He's in town and he's like, "Yo, hit me up. I'm in town. Can you hit me up? Like before I bounce on the plane." I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." I skipped work. I hit him up, and it's at System's crib, and he's at his studio. He's there with Tony Mundo, and Tony Mundo is there. Like they're doing some recordings. They're doing some beats. Of course, it's hot. Mm-hmm. And at first, I'm just kind of there, like I'm just brand new, like I don't know who this kid is, like I don't know who this kid is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this whatever. It's kind of cool. I'm kind of digging it, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm digging it more. I'm listening more to the beats because I was like, oh, okay, this kid's fresh, whatever. And then I don't know where along the lines though, because it didn't hit me right away. By the way, and I don't know for any of y'all who that might happen, because that's what happened with me. It didn't hit me at first. I was like, yo, that's bad. I just remember liking it, but like, all right, cool. But somewhere along the lines, it just hit. I was like, yo, this motherfucker is bad. And I was like, yo, and every time I put on a CD, it might have been a song. It might have been that. I might have heard a track or something. Like I was like, oh yeah, who's this Tony Mundo? I might have done that, and I might have put on a track, and I think that's what it was. And I heard a track. I was like, yo, this dude is bad. And then every time I hear it, and this is the way I say it, this dude sounds to me like he's like Raekwon Ghost combo, but he's like the Latin Raekwon Ghost combo, and the sounds even go with it. It's like he's not even trying to sound like him, but sure enough he do. And it's just like crazy, and I thought that he just sound like that. It's just like like what they're doing in the samples, the flows. I don't know, not even the flows because they don't sound like Ghost. He don't sound like Ray. He just the flavor of it. You know what I'm saying?
The delivery, the way they're talking.
And it's like it's like new, man. It's like it's just raw shit, and it's like these guys are straight. I don't know, man. It's bad, and then they come with the imagery. You check out the Instagram page, man. That Swing Heavy page, man. That dude's doing some real cool shit, man. Check it out, man. That page is sick, dude. Sick with it, like straight up.
This is why I asked for this top 5. These are the people I want to go right now on the ride home. I want to listen.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And check out the CD, man, because he works with systems. So Tony Mundo, I take it he's like he's just working with the producers that put out beats that he likes. So he also put out a record with a producer called JBL, and that record is called Power. It's that should go hard in the mother, man. And all the work again with System, he goes by Keith Woods, I believe. He goes by Keith Woods. I don't know what Keith Woods. I don't know where that comes from. What the reference is. I'm gonna have to ask him. Keith Woods is a producer, and it's like so it's like a duo. It's like a duo MC producer team, right? But it's a different sound. That's when it's kind of a different thing. So like it's still Tony Mundo, but he's doing a whole nother thing with System. It's kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? So he's doing a sound with JBL, and then he'll come over here doing a sound with System, and it's a whole nother thing. Gotcha. But you know what I'm saying? But it's still Tony. It's dope, yo. It's dope. I'm saying check that shit out.
Big range. You can go from this. To this.
It's dope. Yeah, it's sick, man. It's sick. And man, I'm trying to blank on other MCs who are also hot. I've heard a lot of really good MCs, man, and that's what I'm saying. There's no shortage of MCs out here. No shortage. Mm-hmm. That's one thing you will find out of a shortage of.
Before I go on real quick, I know we're at 2, but I just before I forget, I want to ask you this, bro. Why do you think? This was a big question I wanted to ask, and I forgot, and I want to ask it now just because I remembered it. Why do you think hip hop has that big effect here to us El Pasoans? Being that we're so far away from New York, we're so far away from LA. Like, why? Why would you think that it has that impact?
Well, you touched on a deeper subject there, sir.
Yes, I'm sorry.
You
I'm
touched
sorry.
on, you touched on the deeper.
We'll go
No,
back to the
we're
list.
going to touch that. We're going to touch on that. We can touch on that easily.
Yes.
And what I can say to that is, and I can actually throw a quick log line on you on that, is that what we've discovered and what I've discovered on this path, and again, I'm on my own spiritual path. I'm my own path to growth, and, you know what I'm saying, to self-realization. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on the path to that, on the path to peace, on the path to love, you know what I'm saying? So on that path, you know what I'm saying, and in discovering this story and discovering all the passion that people got for this art, and the passion that I myself rediscovered in that, we discovered that the spiritual component of hip hop is very heavy. And when you talk about hip hop as a consciousness, okay, when you talk of hip hop as a consciousness, and this is what we teach at the temple, is that hip hop is a consciousness, okay, spelled capital H-I-P, capital H-I-O-P, excuse me, no dash, no thing, H-I-P, or no, H-I-P, H-O-P, excuse me. Scratch that. Capital H-I-P-H-O-P. That's the consciousness, hip hop. So as a consciousness and as a spirit, it's always been here. We've been doing it. So El Paso, Texas, is as indigenous as the indigenous natives that we are, as the indigenous Mexicanos or whatever that we might be. Our roots lie within the indigenous lands of the brown people of this land, right? The same way they did out in the Bronx, in the Yonque tribe out in the Bronx. Okay, so Yonque or Yonque, Yonque. I might be saying that right. I'm totally saying that wrong. The Yonque tribe out of the Bronx. Again, you get the natives, you get the indigenous who've been doing this out here since those days. Been telling stories. We've been banging on the Bronx. Been singing songs, banging on the drums.
True.
We've been painting on the walls. We've been telling stories. Again, to quote Artson, shout out Artson. I got that from him. He straight up in the interview. He says he had this beautiful dialogue about it when we're asking him about it. And you know what I'm saying? Because again, it's a spirit. So it came here. It's been here. You know what I'm saying? We're just reinventing or rediscovering it here in the here and now in this form and with these modern tools. And this is again how we're reinventing it and reestablishing ourselves with our indigenous roots in this modern form. And again, I'll speak to Saba again, who's a Navajo. Shout out to Parrish as well. C, who's also indigenous roots. The farmer who we're working with in the dispensary, they got a farm also as well. That's another side note. I don't know if they wanted that. That might be, but that's not. It's business. It's business. Yeah. So anyway, so street entrepreneurs as well. Just throw that in there. We discovered that story as well. So there's a thread there. So we're using that as another thread to just guide me. I'm using that as well. My Valentina's, I shared these concepts, these ideas that we've come up. You know what I'm saying? Like they come to us as we develop the story and the process, right? So that is a major thread that we're gonna follow through in the film. Is just that. It's like why or how is that connection made? Like why did it hit so hard out here the way it has? And by the way, I haven't even touched on Tuares or Cruces because we're doing it out here. This is a large region. This is a people of about 3 million people collectively, right? El Paso is about 800,000 counted, so it could be more than that. It could be easily more than that. And then another 100, 200 uncounted. And then you got 1.8 million. If I'm getting my math right, if I get my memory right, 1.8 million out in Cruces.
Oh, okay.
I mean, excuse me, Juarez, right? And then Cruces, I believe that's another, I forget what, 80,000?
Yeah, it's not as much as here. Definitely not as much.
No, it's about 80,000. It's not underneath, or maybe 100 I forget. Anyhow, I forget those numbers. Oof. Need to brush up on that.
Well, here's like 800,000. I know Juarez is like 1 point something. Las Cruces, I'm not sure, but it's still a shitload of people, dude.
Yeah, so it's a lot of energy, and so there's a lot of talent that comes out of here, and yeah, it hit hard when hip hop. I believe when hip hop first hit the scene, when it first hit the stage in the Bronx, when it hit the stage, when it was like a thing, when it was really caught, when it was like, you know, saying the thing started happening, and here's the thing that we discovered as well, which is what we found interesting is again, you hear these things, and then you're like, yo, it's obvious. And one another thread to that too is that the reason it hit in El Paso is because there's that Fort Bliss Briggs Airfield connection. So we got soldiers from all over the country and people coming from New York, people from New York in the military being supplanted out here in Fort Bliss, so they're bringing it out here as well. So it hits El Paso probably first in most cities in the country. Most cities,
right.
not all cities, but most cities. So I'm sure it hit LA too, and all major port cities. I mean, or I should say, military bases and things like that. So any town that they was doing hip hop out there. That's what I know. I know that now. So and of course, and it's El Paso. So what we're again going back to the indigenous part of it is that that's probably why it's more flourishing out here, because it is. You just don't hear about it, and that's what we aim to do with this film. Is that was one of the aims, was to expose that that the art out of here. We cover all those 9 elements with ease out here.
Yeah. No, and you're right, man. But it's crazy how it travels, really. Because right now, thinking about it, because it did start in New York, right? And then it makes its way out to the West Coast. But per area that you have, it sounds different. You know what I mean? It sounds it sounds badass. It's dope. It's all badass. That's what's cool about it. That it's all badass. It's all dope. But we can agree that it's different. You know, Midwest rap is different than South rap, different than West Coast rap, East Coast rap. You know what I mean? It's all through the same message. And I wanted to touch on that because I think the message when hip hop started was to be conscious, to wake people up, to realize, hey, we're all going through the same shit. It's just we got to keep going, you know. And then I would say that's when, you know, it's the business got a hold of it, and when it became business, then you started seeing all these, you know, talk about more violence, more drug use, more this. Do you think it was like they took it over? The business took it over. They took over the actual message of it, like unintentionally. You know what I mean? Was it an attack on Latinos, on blacks, on everything, or did it just happen?
I think it's that now, but business helped drive it at first. It helped drive it without the business portion. And I forget. I want to say is it Sylvia Robinson, like who put out the single "Rappers Delight." Yeah, her thing was all about money. Like her thing was like, "Yo, there's something here. There's gold here. Like we need to put this out on the radio. Well, this is magic." So she was the first one to put it out on the streets. Anyhow, there's an excellent book called the Big Payback, and actually it covers, and it's the business part of it. And reading that book, I discovered how important it was into driving it to where it is today. And it wouldn't be a multi-billion-dollar company or an international phenomenon as it is today without the business portion, without the business backbone. And again, that's why street entrepreneurialism is an element into hip hop, because they took something out of nothing. They took poverty and they created a multi-billion-dollar industry. Billionaires are emerging out of this culture, out of these elements.
You're right. I mean, you got Kanye, Jay-Z, Diddy, even though, you know, whatever he's up to nowadays. But
Dre.
yeah, they're billionaire status, bro. And you're right.
Yeah, Dre.
You're right. Um, I think that's all I got for you, bro. I mean, is there one message you want to give out? Well, let's do this. Anybody that you want a piece of advice you can give to somebody. Somebody starting off to be like, hey, I want this. What this guy's doing is badass. I want to kind of jump on. What advice do you give that person?
Wow, that's a good question. There's many maxims that I tend to live by. One of them I really love, and it's all very simple, really. When you really find what you love to do and you just do more of that, right? One of them is follow your excitement. Whatever excites you, go directly there. Do more of that. Whatever excites you, whatever brings you joy, when you feel good and happy and free, do that.
That's money.
Yeah.
That's fucking money.
Yeah. And we didn't finish the 3 MCs. Let's go real quick. I don't want to leave on that note.
No. You're right.
And you know what I'm saying? I can't go down the list because I can't. Ooh, that's a really good one. I love it, man, because there's a lot of MCs. Or I was gonna say my phone's recording. Okay, I want to do off memory then, because I can go offhand. I need to go to my list. I was like, who's on it? Actually, I really like this dude Santofino. He's dope. I like Santofino. Shout out Santofino. That dude's kind of dope. I like that dude. He's just some. I don't know how I came across him. I guess just going through the list of IG. I spend my time sometimes like just going through the pages, finding out links. Okay, who's rapping out here? Oh, Brother Ali. I think yeah, Brother Ali. Well, I'll put him on a 4. That for ill with it too, man. I don't even know where he's from or what his story is. If he's out of El Paso and he reps El Paso, it seems. But he sounds like he New York too. That dude sounds straight, gritty, raw New York shit. It's like, yo, man, this dude don't sound like El Paso. If he's El Paso, like, it's like bad. And then I'm gonna give a shout out Dexter, man. Shout out Dexter. If you're listening too, man. Now Dexter is a homeboy, and I've always said this too, by the way. I've always said this too. And that Dexter is one of those MCs that I've always been just amazed and blown away by how good he is, and not because he's a friend, but just because he's that good. I'm a critic. I'm not gonna say I like something and it's not good. Gotcha. If I don't like it, I'll just be like, yo, I was like, oh, I'll be like, yo, man, good try. I might say, I don't know how I might say that, but I might be nice. I'm gonna be like, I don't know, like, but you know what I'm saying? But he's just good. He's always what I said, a rapper's rapper. You know what I'm saying? He's a rapper's rapper. Like, I don't know why, and he doesn't sound like Method Man, but for some reason, like, I get Method Man vibes from him. Because he's like a star, like, he's like a rapper's rapper, like, he's a star, like, he was always real charismatic. Dexter was always charismatic. He's tall, too. You know what I'm saying? Real cute, you know what I'm saying? But he's a sick MC. Then, what do you say? And he raps in Spanish, bilingual, too. Homeboy's bilingual. So that's ill. His Spanish runs are just disgusting, you know what I'm saying? And like even like he's so complex. He's a rapper's rapper, so he might not be for everybody also, because he's like an MC's MC is what I call it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, he gets down on the bars.
Yeah, like Black Thought, Black Thought is an MC's MC. You know what I'm saying? Like Talib Kweli is an MC. Like he's like even like that, like Dick Stars like that. He's like the Talib Kweli, Black Thought, Method Man blend of out here. Because again, like his, like, you know what I'm saying? He'll be saying shit like turpentine or serpentine, and be like, and he'll be like, and then he explain what a turpentine is. Like, yo, a turpentine is this. I'm like, what, son? I'm like, for real? Like, he said it in the rhyme. He showed me the rhyme. He's like, yo, I got this going. Like, he showed that on his rhyme. He's like, yo, I got this. I just wrote this, and he just boom, 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 show the rhyme, and that he'll say a rhyme like that. This is one example of how ill it gets. He just shows like boom, boom, boom. He'd be like turpentine, and he just rhyme on that, right? And then while we're just talking, like, oh yeah, the turpentine, by the way, is this and that. Like, the turpentine is this. He's like, oh, okay, so you explained that. I'm glad you explained that because I didn't know what the hell you just said there. Yeah, what did you say? Yeah, what did you say there? So he's like, well, he's like that. And that dude is bad. And again, he's been doing it forever. Like, so again, he's been doing it forever, and he's just bad with it. Again, he's an underground MC. So boom, I'll just give it a shot. Top 5 right there, off head. No disrespect to no one. Shout out to anyone else. I may have forgotten. I'm even thinking like Bird from Metatron. Swissar became a favorite for a minute. Swissar, shout out Swissar. He became a favorite when he was doing it. He stopped doing it, I think. And he was like the Biggie of El Paso. So really? Check out Metatron. Yeah, to me that's what he was. He was the Biggie of El Paso. Like just his delivery, and he was just a smooth cat with it, and he was just like bad, and it was just easy to him. It was just easy to, but he would just say shit that just split your wig. You know what I'm saying? It was bad, dude. It was just bad with it. You know what I'm saying? Bird was just like, he's like the De La Soul. Anyways, I could just keep going. Anyways, shout out all that. Yeah, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, well, that's your picks. Cool.
Yeah, for now, man. I'm saying I'm just done the extra tops there. I'd have to check the phone right now. Like, other MC, I'm drawing a blank. I keep thinking of the DJs right now. Why I'm thinking of the DJs.
Well, before I do let you go, documentary, brother. So when's it scheduled to be out? When can people start looking for it? I know on your Instagram you're always posting kind of updates, and it's always badass fucking content, bro. To be honest with you.
Oh, thank you.
I like it just because of the artistry, right? Like you guys are always at good locations, and it's pretty dope. So if you want to give your tags, just let people know where they can reach you, or where can they look up the documentary when it's done.
Yeah. Oh, wow, right on. So there's no release date on the film, none whatsoever. And again, that is a clear definite to anyone who asks you, because I get that a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
So again, if anyone who's listening this all the way through, if you're all listening, man, this movie, and I tried to hit that earlier, but dude, this movie is nowhere near done. Nowhere near done. Like, there is so much tremendous research and development behind it. And again, like I said, we're in funding stage right now. So I'm trying to raise a lot of money. I'm not going to go for a number because I don't know, I'm just not going to do that. Kind of tacky. But I'm trying to raise a lot of money for this because, again, I have a big vision for the film. And not only for the film, but what we can do as creating a vehicle, using this as a vehicle for creating civic engagement, community engagement. Programs and things like that, interacting with the community with things like this. Again, this is just this is just one thread to that, what I have larger in mind. And again, to raise the funds for that, you know what I'm saying? Because again, there's a lot of opportunities for that. So we're in that stage right now. And once I get that done, if I were to raise anywhere near Well, hell, like I said, if I got, give me right now 50,000 right now, and anyone out there who's listening, if you're just a potential investors, 50,000. If you drop 50,000, 100,000 right now, actually 100, I actually would start with 100. Is what I would say. 50,000. Like 50,000 is, I can go through 35 in a minute, thinking of what I want to do with this. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Paying the people. By the way, paying the people. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I don't mind eating crumbs. I will make this movie happen.
Yeah.
And so so again, there's no then date. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, once I get the funding secure, and that's how I kind of see it. That's how I'm just planning it out in my head. Even if I don't ever get the funding, I'm just gonna make it happen. I don't want to spend too long on this because again, life goes on. It's just one thing. But I do want to make it. I do want to make it perfect. I do have a very detailed. I have an artistic vision for it, and I have an idea of where I want to go. It's my first time creating this, so I want to be careful with it. So I don't know. I want to say give or take 3-5 years, give or take. I want to spend more time than that, but again, I'm leaving it up to the film. Like, I'm letting the film drive me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not up to me. The idea that came to me, I'm the vessel. I'm just doing the work. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha,
I'm putting the people together. I'm putting everyone on all the pieces and everything together. So again, there's nothing to say. If I could put a timeline to it that I wish would happen, again, I think it's a good idea to as well have deadlines because it does put an urgency to it.
Yeah.
So again, I don't want to spend too much time on it. Like, I'm not trying to spend a decade on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like I said, life moves on. So give us take 5 years would be great from even now. That'll give it 7 years total. Speaking of how long I would have
taken to make it.
And so to the next point is, again, it's the Instagram is the 9 elements, the number 9 elements documentary on Instagram. And again, I'm gonna be creating all the platforms, the YouTubes, the TikToks, the Twitters. I haven't done all that just yet. I'm going to. The Facebook, I'm on Facebook. It's interesting because it put under my personal page, which works. Is Gibran Rebelde. That Gibran Rebelde, like rebel in Spanish. But that's not my real name. My name is Gabriel. I'm just not putting my real name on these platforms. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Well, especially if it's based on the movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, it's it's just that's another form it's on. If you're on Facebook, it's on there, like under Gibran Rebelde. Everything I post is on there. When I post on the Instagram, it goes directly there, which is cool. So, and there's even also my Instagram. It's my personal page. That's my personal stuff, actually. So, I mean, they're personal, but they're public. I'm not private. I don't have anything to hide. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's cool because, like I said, the journey's being recorded, bro. So
straight up,
like you can, you know what I mean? You're gonna have all the stuff that you're making to do the documentary, but then you're also recording the process of it, which is pretty badass.
Yes, sir. That's what it is, and that's what the page is. That's what I'm using that as. It's like it's the page and the TikTok. It's gonna be just the making of. Yeah, it's the making of. Yeah, it's totally the making of. Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for having me